Apart from Chandigarh, the only city in the world that has ever been built from scratch along the Corbusian lines of rational town planning is here. In the 50s, the Brazilians decided they wanted a capital. Now, the thing about bureaucrats is that they hate ports. They're too open to influence, they're too hard to control, they're too full of life. And so, although they already had one very lively port in Rio, the Brazilians decided to put their capital 1,200 kilometers away in the center of the country on a red dirt plateau where nobody had ever lived or indeed ever wanted to. Two of Corbusier's most brilliant South American disciples were called upon to design it. Lucio Costa did the town plan, and the main ceremonial buildings were done by Oscar Niemeyer. Now, Brasilia, as the place is called, was going to be the city of tomorrow. It was going to be the triumph of reason and sunlight and the automobile. And here we were going to see what the international style could really do when it was backed with limitless quantities of cash and national enthusiasm. And we did.
We started to have the Brasilia syndrome, I call it. That is city planning from high above, where you organize your objects. This is the Swedish professor, and he was saying all the time that the virtue of residential building is that it should look nice from the freeway. So the planners left the ground and left the people dimension in planning and started to fly over the whole thing. It was planning from above and from a distance. From the air, it looks smashing. It's an eagle with wings and with the government buildings. And from the helicopter, it looks really good. And down in eye level, it really looks shit. And we've seen it being used all over the world, in China, in Dubai. I call this kind of the planning, I call it bird shit architecture.
How good it can look on film, the most photogenic new town on earth. It's always had a good press, too. Brazilian architectural critics did not dare say anything against it, and it's so far away that most other critics have never actually seen it. From the air, you can see the abstract categories of layout, the big living blocks, the administrative core, the work areas, the green space, the crossing highways. Here, the Corbusian dream has come true. The car has abolished the street, and the pedestrian is an irrelevance. A large irrelevance, since most people in Brasilia do not own cars. So what Brasilia became in less than 20 years wasn't the city of tomorrow at all. It was yesterday's science fiction. Nothing dates faster than people's fantasies about the future.
And you can almost see them hovering over that plane saying that 2 oval buildings would be just smashing. Yeah, let's do 2 ovals. And then let's have some yellow cubes. Yeah, yellow cubes. Let's turn them 45 degrees. 45 degrees, that would be excellent. But how will it be for the Dutch people who are to live in this one for the next 50 years or longer?
This is what you get when perfectly decent, intelligent and talented men start thinking in terms of space rather than place, and about single rather than multiple meanings. It's what you get when you design for political aspirations and not real human needs. You get miles of jerry-built platonic nowhere infested with Volkswagens. This, one may fervently hope, is the last experiment of its kind. The utopian buck stops here.